This is chapter 22. And I believe that this is going to help us because I believe this will culminate everything that you kind of heard in this room on today. Genesis 22, verse number 2. Then God said, take your son Isaac, your only son, whom you love, and go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains I will tell you about. Early in the next morning, got up and saddled his donkey and took 2 of his servants and his son Isaac. When he had cut enough wood from the burnt offering, he set out for the place God told him about. On the 3rd day, Abraham looked up and saw the place in the distance and said to his servants, stay here with the donkey while I go and the boy over there. We will worship and then we will come back to you. I want to talk just for a few minutes allotted to me, using as a subject, change your pattern. Change your pattern. Look at your brother next to you and say, God's going to make you bigger. He's going to expand your territory. And he's going to make me bigger than my mistake. Throughout today, you heard one thing that was mentioned in the first soliloquy that we was given by Pastor Terry, where he talked about order. Somebody holler order. Sir Francis Bacon attempted to put everything in order and he dismally failed. When you look in the Bible, you'll find that in God's infinite order that he tried to bring order where there was nothing. There's a preamble in Genesis chapter 1, and you have to understand that where there is not any order, it will lend itself to chaos and confusion. Let's look at Genesis, if you don't mind. Genesis chapter 1, you will find here that the earth was full of void. He didn't just create the earth, but he created the earth in order. When you look at the earth structure and study in topography, you will understand that even there is an order and a structure to the earth. There's a continental crust, there's an oceanic crust, there's a mantle, there's an outer core and an inner core, because he knew even the earth had to have some order. After dealing with the atmosphere, then he had to deal in a certain place where there are 3 different layers of order, even as it relates to the atmosphere, which is aeronomy, which is the study of the earth, meteorology, which is the study of the atmosphere, and climatology, which is the physical state of the wind, because he knew even the atmosphere had to have some order. I'm in the Bible, just keep on going with it. In Genesis chapter 1, you'll find even after the earth and even after the atmosphere, he had to make the water. Even water had to have some order, going from the ocean to the sea to the Gulf to the baylet, the inlet to the forest to the sound to the strait to the lake to the lagoon to the pond to the pool, and from the pool to puddle, and even one little drop of the puddle of rain. Even the atmosphere of water had to have some order. In order to have some water, you got to have some precipitation. Precipitation even has clouds in it, and even clouds have got to have order. Having high-level clouds, mid-level clouds, low-level clouds, even order to that particular place. When you look at clouds, you'll even understand, even in there, you have drizzle to rain, rain from freezing drizzle to freezing rain, hail, sleet, and snow, because he knew even that had to have some order. Even in your body, a blood type, your blood type has even got to have some order. A blood, B blood, O blood, positive or negative, even that has got to have order. When you was even in school, you even had mathematics. Even mathematics has order, going from 1s to 10s, 10s to hundreds, hundreds to thousands, thousands to millions, millions to billions, billions to trillions. Even numbers have got to have order. And even as men, just try living the days of the week. Monday to Tuesday, Tuesday to Wednesday, Wednesday to Thursday, Thursday to Friday, Friday to Saturday. Even the days of the week, they even got to have some order. Even the bed that you sleep on at night even got to have some order. You go from a twin to a fool to the queen to a king, even from that to an Egyptian king. Even that has got to have some order. Now, I don't want to just be natural. Let me give you just a little bit of Bible. Even the books of the Bible are even in order, going from Genesis all all the way to Revelation, even that is even in order. When you look at it, even the days of creation are in order. You got light and darkness, heaven, grass and trees and sun, stars and moon, the fish of the sea, the fowls of the air. That's when you get a man, and that's when you get rest through the first 7 days of the week. You even walk into that place of order. Even the gifts of the Spirit is even in order. You have wisdom and you have knowledge, you have faith, you have miracles, you have healing, you have discernment, you even have the speaking of tongues and interpretation of them, because even that has got to have some order. Even when you go to God, have you ever noticed when you pray to God, even that has got to be in order. You just don't go to God just any kind of way. You go to God even from the outer court, and then you go into the inner court, and then you walk into the holies of holies, but you got to go through some order. Look at somebody next to you and say, you got to have some order. So when I open this and I begin to think about my assignment, I begin to look at what would God have me to say to the men in this house today. And he gave me just a little small illustration, and then we can go ahead, because I want to speak a prophetic word into you men, and we out of here. From those of us that was raised when TVs have now taken the place of babysitters between 1963 and 1999, we all have came across a little thing on our television set that went something like this. This is the emergency broadcasting system to let us know that the sound that you just heard, this is a test. For the next 60 seconds, we're going to produce a simple test that lets you know only the sound you hear is a test. And when I begin to think about us as men, I begin to think, how many of us men have been tested in this world? Lift your hand just one time. You've been tested. You either got your manhood tested or you had to take a test. So I begin to look at it, and I want to help you real quick. A test is an evaluation of ability, an evaluation of aptitude, or an evaluation of a skill set. So watch this here. The first reason you take a test is to prove that you're ready for the next dimension. If you have never been tested, you're not ready for the next dimension. And if you notice something here, every time you take a test, the first time you don't always pass the test. So sometimes you got to go through that test over again to see if you learn from the last mistake. The second reason why you take a test is because we want to see the proficiency. So now hear me, not only is the student being tested, also the teacher is being tested to prove whether or not they gave you the right tools for you to pass that basic test. And then the last one is for you to be able to handle the instruction. So when you look at the dismal test in here, I begin to look at us as men, because hear me, the backbone to the community is the church. But the problem is, and the man of God said it best, when are we as men going to stand up on the front line and do what we're supposed to do? The problem with us even in church today is that we have memorized the words of Christ, but have we figured out how to walk like Christ? The church today has done nothing now where we have no sanctity within the sanctuary. Now the church, you can live any kind of way you want to live and do whatever you want to do. And now we have no responsibility. I grew up in an old church, so y'all pray for me. I remember that when we talked earlier about fornication, hear me, when the man and the woman both was in the church, the choir director and the drummer, y'all ain't about to talk to me right through here. Choir director and drummer here. Now she done got pregnant with child. I remember the preacher will stand the woman up in front of the church. Y'all ain't saying nothing. We had it all wrong back then, because we would stand the woman up in the church, but hear me, the brother was just as responsible. Y'all ain't about to help me up in here. So why would we sit her down and not sit him down when he should be the example of what heavenly kingdom's supposed to look like? Y'all ain't gonna talk to me. So the problem is that we have to get to a place where we learn the law of motion. Somebody say the law of motion. So when God began to give me this message, he said, Peters, I need you to talk to them to let them know, number one, for every man in this room, I hope you're ready for it. God says for every man in this room, you are getting ready to move into another space. What do you mean by another space? In your mindset, there's about to be a shift. In the way that you think about things, it's about to be a shift. The problem is what a lot of men is that we make our problems become her problem. But theoretically, when you the man, you're supposed to stand and do what God has called for us to do. Look at your brother and say, oh, you're getting ready to move. And for every man in this room, I hope you're ready for it. There's about to be a season of restoration that's about to hit your life. In other words, what I'm about to say to every man in here, wherever you have been delayed at, God is about to bring a progression. Which means that wherever you have been lacking at, God is about to fulfill that need and where you need to be. I wish I had a church in here to help me preach. Because watch this here. Restoration is about to come to your name. Is there any man in here that ever had their name blackballed? Lift your hand real quick. There's about to be restoration to your name. There's going to be restoration to your business, restoration to your mind, restoration to your opportunities, restoration to your peace. But wherever you have been lacked at, God is about to bring some peace there. So where are you getting ready to go? God says in that area, that platform of proficiency, he says, I'm getting ready to show you how you are about to come back together. I don't know who this is for, but for 4 men in here, you can get ready to call U-Haul and get you some boxes because you're about to move to a whole nother address. For every man in this house, you're about to lead your family. Hear me, your family is about to be led in prayer by you. What you get ready to do is you're going to grab whoever's in your house and bring them to the place of prayer. He said, you cannot lead the community if you can't first lead your house. I learned something and we are ready for it. How can you lead the church and you don't lead your football team at home? Y'all ain't helping me. Because the first ministry was not the church, it was your house. You got no help. Look at somebody next to you and say, get ready to bust a move, bust a move, bust a move. Yeah. There's about to be a major move that's getting ready to happen. And for every man in this ministry, I come to tell you, you are about to make a major move in your life. You're about to make a major move in your life. So most men who are unfaithful in their relationships, the reason why they caught up is because their pattern changed. That's for real players up in here that ever been in that place before. Amen. So you can't start off buying flowers and candy, and then after now that you treat her like the saltine cracker, now she become the rich. Y'all ain't helping me. You got to make sure that if you're going to play the game, at least be consistent. Amen. But see, what happens is your pattern change. So hear me, they notice, because hear me, women move and they know how patterns really are. And God began to say to me that there are some things that begin to happen in us. And when we begin to happen is our patterns change. And when I looked at some patterns, I wrote these down real quick. The first pattern is that, hear me, there is a despair thinking pattern. And that is the thought process that believes that when everything is bad, nothing good is going to happen for you. The second one is called a disconnected thinking pattern, which means that you make reality out of assumptions. The third pattern is called indecisive thinking pattern that says, hear me here, is that you have to learn how to decide what's best for you, not what's good for other people. So hear me, you cannot always sit up and always put yourself in a lot when God says, I'm calling you to something, but you talk yourself out of it. Any men in here, you know there's something that you're supposed to be doing, but you talked yourself out of it because you thought it was too good to be true? Let me help you real quick. God said that I'm going to call you to stuff that don't make sense. He said, I'm going to call you to stuff that don't make sense because, see, other people won't try, but because you got enough faith, I'm going to let you walk in it. So you have what I call number 4, self-defeated pattern. And last one is what I call dyslexic thinking pattern. I said it yesterday to Dr. Terry, and I want to say it to you all in here. God said that I'm not going to just come through the front. I'm getting ready to give you a backdoor blessing. Because, see, the enemy knows that he going to always come to the front, but God said, I'm about to change the rules of how he does things. And see, right now, I'm telling you right now, if you just learn how to do what the crazy do, you get ready to walk into crazy blessings. Y'all ain't about to help me. I don't know who this is for in here, but watch this here. If you want to see your church turned up, be the first one to give God glory. Your whole family going to shift. So God says, I'm getting ready to show you the backwards blessing. There's 22 men in this room in here that I'm getting ready to tell you that he's about to bless reversal. So I'm letting you know right now, look at somebody next to you and say, here's prophetic word number 1. It just got reversed. Cancer that's been running in your family, it's about to get reversed. Restoration to your credit, it's about to be reversed. Just lift your voice and say, oh, it's about to be reversed. The reason why some of you should give God praise right now, hear me, is because you know you should be in jail. You should be in somebody's crazy 2 north. Y'all ain't helping me. You know that you should be shot up, but hear me, it got reversed because while you was on your way one place, God shifted the direction so you wouldn't walk into that thing. Yesterday we was on our way to service, and hear me, we got a call where we were getting ready to go. They said, don't go that way because there was an accident that way. If we would have left 9 minutes earlier, we could have been the recipients of the accident. God right now is saying that, hear me, you should praise him because what should have killed you did not. And because it did not kill you, that means you got more purpose in your very life. I love talking to men because, hear me, women move by emotion, men move by principle. So watch this here. Every man who's on your row, I'm coming to let you know, everybody on your row is getting ready to get blessed. Everybody that has been blocked, a door is getting ready to open for you. Matter of fact, when I was sitting there, I just couldn't do anything when Dr. Wiley was talking because God said a bank vault is about to open for somebody. Oh, God help me. Starting at midnight, there's going to be a man in this room that's about to walk into their purpose. I wish I had a church up in here. Matter of fact, I come to tell you, a shift is getting ready to happen for your entire bloodline. Which means that anybody here got children, lift your hand real quick. God said that stupid is going to skip a generation. Y'all ain't ready. In other words, what that means is that everything in your skill set is getting ready to shift. So whatever you couldn't complete, your child is going to complete. It says, I'm getting ready to do something in your life. So when I begin to look at this text, Genesis, this first book of the Bible, 50 chapters, 1,533 verses, 38,267 words, 1,156 words that begin with the word with, the 1,385 verses that deal with history, 165 questions, 96 distinct messages of God. I came across this particular scripture of God using Abraham. Why did he have to use Abraham? And I'm going to give you just a few scriptures. I got 32 minutes left and I got to get you out of here. Now, in order for you to understand how your pattern is going to change, I'm going to take exactly what Dr. Terry did and Dr. Wiley did, and I'm going to get us all out of here where we can shout together. All right? So I'm going to give you 7 P's that's going to help you. All right? Now, you're not going to get all the P's unless you go back to read, because I want you to understand, as men, we got to understand that you just should not take what you hear. Go back and read it for yourself so you can get a better application. All right? Now, I started in 22. Casper, slide with me back to Genesis 12. The first P that I'm going to give you is in Genesis chapter 12. It says that God does for Abraham, this is what he gets ready to do. He says, first of all, he makes him, number one, a promise. Somebody holler promise. He says, I'm going to make your name great. Somebody holler your name out loud. Your name is about to be great. Y'all missed it. Let me say it one more time and hear me. And after you say your name, clap for your own self. Because hear me, don't wait for other people to celebrate you. Learn how to celebrate yourself. Say your name again. Your name is about to be great. Y'all ain't ready for me in here. Talk to somebody on the side of you and say your name getting ready to be great. For every man in this room, you ready for it? God's about to give you a fresh line of credit. Which means, y'all ain't ready for it. I'm telling you right now. Hear me. Hear me. In other words, when God said your name, God puts his name behind your name. Y'all ain't ready. In other words, when God attaches his name to your name, something new got to come into the existence. So what did I ask God to do? This is what I've been asking God to do. See, I'm in 2020 while y'all still in 19. And I changed my prayer. See, some of you, here's your prayer, kill them. Y'all ain't saying nothing. But you got to learn how to change your prayer. Lord, remove any person in my life that's not attached to my assignment. Remove any person who's not pro me. Remove any person in my life that don't have respect for who I am. And just because I made some mistakes, that ain't the end of my chapter. Y'all ain't saying nothing. I wish I had 19 men up in here that could talk back to me and say, just because I made a mistake don't mean that that's the end of my chapter. So what I done cussed? So what that I done lied? So what that I done slept with Lottie Dottie and everybody? That ain't the end of my story, because God can change you and make you whole when you was a whore. Y'all ain't talking to nobody here. I know y'all want to act saved and sanctified, but God said I can take a hoe and pray and preach holiness. I can let you now understand that whatever you came out of, I'm going to make you better, because better is the end of a thing than the beginning. Just look over your own life. Hear me here. Is there anybody here that lived a perfect life? Just think where you were this time last year and where you at today. You should be turning these tables and these chairs over right now. Because to let you know, there were friends that you walked with that now you had to bury that you should have been buried next to. But look at somebody next to you and say, there's a promise on my life. So whoever done made me sick, Lord, don't kill them. Let them see that I'm getting ready to bring restoration to their life. So God says there's about to be a promise that's over your life. And when I bring a promise over your life, I then got to make sure that you walk into the place that I called you in. So look at somebody next to you and say, your blessing getting ready to come. Your blessing getting ready to come. Matter of fact, can you do this? I want you to say this to yourself. Say, I'm officially blessed. Maybe Genesis 12 wasn't a good one. Let me move to the next one. Here's the second P that I want to give you. Here's the second P. So not only is he going to give me promise, Genesis chapter 13, when you read it, you find out the second P, that he releases property. I'll come to tell every man up in this room here, if you're ready to hear it, there's some property with your name on it. How long you been living in your townhouse? About 2 years? Well, in the next few years, it's going to be too small. So just go look, hear me. Don't be deep like all these other people just driving by, go get some oil, slanging it on it, go let your hand be on it. Don't do all that stuff. We're going to be natural for a minute. All you got to do is let your feet walk on the property. See, if you knew how much power you had, you'll quit all that church theatrics and just say, that's going to be mine right there. Because God said for some of you right now, there's about to be some property with your name on it. And with the property with your name on it, all you're going to have to do is say, that's getting ready to be mine. I'm telling you between now, matter of fact, the clock just went back by the springtime. Some of y'all getting ready to move. The reason why the clock went back an hour for your life is because you got to catch up on the stuff you dropped. But when the clock comes, you're going to catch up on everything you lost in the last season. Maybe that wasn't a good one either. So let's go on over the first one. The first one, Shannon, I'm on my clock. I understand. So the first one is you're going to walk in the promise. The second one is going to be property. Here's the first big mad you're going to get. See, good preacher got to make you mad. So let me make you mad one. Big mad number one. Genesis 14. Genesis 14. Hear me real quick. And hear me. The pastors get ready to shout when I give this one here. In Genesis 14, it's now the institution and the principle called the tithe. Melchizedek shows up and gives a tithe to Abraham. Y'all ain't ready for me. Here's the third one. God is about to let every man in this room in here walk into provision. I wish I had a church up in here. God said that there's about to be money that's going to be released when you learn how to operate and use your money. I can tell you one thing, at least when we was rolling in the street, we knew how to give God a whole bunch of them sin offerings. Y'all ain't gonna talk to me in here. I'm gonna mess up. I can tell my testimony, I don't care what y'all think about me. My brother, I love him immensely. My brother, if y'all ever seen the movie Boomerang, he was like Marcus Graham. That's who he was. And that's who I wanted to be like. I wanted to be like Marcus Graham. That's who I wanted to be like. And then what ended up happening is I ain't understand that my brother was running him a male escorting service. So guess who was the first client? Y'all ain't talking. High profile people. And hear me, the date was supposed to be $750. That's what it's supposed to be the arm candy for who you gonna be with. That didn't include the extracurricular activities that went with the $750. Don't act like y'all ain't never been to the Players Club before. Y'all ain't talking. And hear me, watch this here. Here go the part that messes him up. I'm sitting up, catwalking for $500, operating with a minister's name in front of my name. Don't worry about it. So whenever the church needed the locks to be changed, oh, no problem, here it is. Because I thought I was still going to be covered in my wrongdoing. You don't believe me? All the offerings you need to find is in the book of Numbers. So when you sin, just go find that particular book of Numbers and just get that offering for that week. And God began to tell me that he's getting ready to bring provision for you. Because God said you'll never have to do no strange things for no change. He said for every man up in this room, wherever there's a lack, you get ready to go find the fish's mouth that got your money. Y'all ain't ready. Any men up in here, hear me right now. If you got a bunch of money, please let me have some because I need it. But I'm telling you right now, if I got any men up in here that's looking for God to add some zeros to what's in your bank account, guess what? Just say, Lord, let me find the fish's mouth. Now help me, men. I hope you don't get mad by what I'm about to say. If you have more money on your back that's in your bank account, we got to do some serious thinking. I think you see it with the ice down. See, the problem with a lot of people that they think what they see with entertainers is that that's theirs. That's rented. And God right now is saying that I am getting ready to allow you to lead even in the places of provision. I think I got some real men up in here. It feels good when your girl can come to you and ask you for some money. Amen. Now, it's a difference in here. Women have their money and your money. I don't care leaning back. I don't care, you know. And they easy. I think you said it best about that credit card. Oh, they can tell you what you done use. Don't chat. What you asking me about some money for? But then when you use the card, why did you do so and so? But then when they use the card, y'all ain't helping me. Please don't call and say nothing to her about what I'm talking about. I don't care. I'm a man until they get up in your face. Y'all ain't saying nothing. But watch this here. I don't know. And I know you do this. I know you. I can see you do it. I see you do it. I see you do it. You just got married. I know you got to ease into this a little bit. Amen. But I think you do it. Amen. See, I play little songs around the house to remind them to let them know what's going on every once in a while. See, when you the man, you can do this. When you the man, you can do this. I need you to do so-and-so. I say, play that song right there, track number 3. Right there is off the Black Caesar James Brown soundtrack. It's called Pay the Cost to Be the Boss. Now, you laughing, but hear me, don't play that song if you got to go to her account to ask her for some money. Because God is saying right now, you can't call the shots if you're not in the place. And that's why I believe that you got to do what the Bible says. If you're going to be the man, pay the cost to be the boss. You got to figure it out. And if you don't figure it out, muzzle your mouth until you do. Oh, it's quiet up in here. All right, here we go. So you got promise, you got property, you got provision. Y'all got that down? All right, here's number 4. Chapter 16. You may not shout over this. He gives pardon. Sarah says to her husband, well, I experienced pleasure in my old age. Now, this is what she did. She gives her husband permission to sleep with the maid. Yeah. Then after he do and they have a child, now she want to put the child and the woman out. That's why I tell women, trust me, I talk to women all the time and I tell them all the time, be very careful what you speak over that man. Because what you speak over that man, when he do it, don't trip. Y'all ain't helping me. Get out. Then when he do get out, trust me, hear me, he may not leave right then, but he thinking of a plan. I got anybody up here that's going to be honest with me, going to be real? You got to be careful how you talk to him. And a lot of times, watch this here, he had to give pardon. Some of you men in here right now, you're going to have to learn how to have pardon for people who done played you. They done did you wrong. You're going to have to learn how to have some pardon. Because hear me, the only way you're going to walk in true repentance and healing and real reconciliation is learning how to forgive people who have wronged you. How are we going to cohabitate? How are we going to do what we need to do? And the reason why some of us in here can't touch our neighbors because we like being comfortable with our substitutes. Sometimes you got to ask yourself, is who you connected to the real thing or are they the substitute? Look at your relationships. Every once in a while, that you should go through your phone. I go through my phone every quarter. I talk to tons of people. Men, women, and this, that, and other. And watch this here. I had to ask myself, are they an asset or are they a liability in my life? And us as men, we got to take some careful consideration. Why are they connected to you? What is it that you could do? If all they see is money sign and see they can get some paper, some title, this, that, and other, they're the type of people that you don't need to be connected to. And I like men that's real. I like men that know how to say, you know what, that's fraudulent. I don't need to connect to that. I just got to keep it real. I got to keep it 100 because, hear me, I realize that I got too much at stake because one bad mistake can set me back years. So we got to be very careful. I'm almost where I need to be, and I'm almost out of here. I promise you I am. So God has said that, hear me, we got to get to a place. And when we get to that particular place, we begin to understand. And this is what I love about the men that's up in this room today. Although we made some mistakes, we know God can still use us. Talk to somebody next to you and say, he going to use us. 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 Here we go. I'm almost where I need to be. Here's number 17. I pray that you receive it. Chapter 17, now he gives us a profession. Abraham circumcises the people. Hope you're ready for it. What God has given you, your gift is going to cause you some pain. So you got to be anointed for a profession. So in other words, that means that you're going to have a job. Man don't work. God right now is about to allow you as men to bump into your next flow of income. Now, I don't know who's going to shout when I say this, but I pray I get at least 39 of you to do it. God said that you're not going to have one stream of income, but you're about to have a multiple streams of income. I wish I had somebody. Matter of fact, why don't you talk to somebody next to you and say, when you touch my hand, another stream of income go home. Oh my. I'm almost there. I promise you. Y'all with me? Y'all still with me? Come on. Chapter 18. He ain't in number yet. Anybody want to own their own business? You too anointed to be anonymous. Y'all ain't helping me. Your problem is to learn how to treat the people who you work with now so you won't treat them like your boss treats you. And what I do, I know this is going to sound stupid, but when I talk to myself like I own what it is that I want. So when I do, I make sure that when I walk in the favor of God, I make sure that I know how to treat people. I cover about 40 churches authentically, but I got about 99 of them on paper. Y'all missed it. Because everybody on paper ain't really with you. Y'all ain't saying nothing. If there ain't any real people up in here, everybody say they rocking with you ain't really rocking with you. You want to know why? Because when you need them, they don't answer the phone. Let me hurry up and go. I'm almost where I need to be, I promise you. God says for some of you right now, you're on the border of having a nervous breakdown, but you're also on the border of your breakthrough. Chapter 19, I'm almost where I need to be. He gives a release for protection. Y'all see where I'm going with it? So hear me. It's because he's about to give you protection. He said for every man in here, he said, I'm getting ready to cover you like never before. The words that you need to speak over your life is Psalms 91 from now to the end of the month. And when you speak it over your entire family. And watch how God is getting ready to make sure that there will be no stray bullets, no sickness, no diseases. Nothing will come against nobody in your zip code or your bloodline or your community. Because there's about to be a series of protection that's about to hit your life. Somebody say, I decree protection. Yes, God. Somebody in here, can I please just be honest with you in here? Stuff getting ready to open up on your behalf. It's getting ready to open up on your behalf. And when it opens up on your behalf, all you got to do is say, God, I thank you because I've already seen what you were getting ready to do. Matter of fact, I see what God's getting ready to do in 19 people's life in here because it goes to number 20. Here it is. You ready? We're about to turn the corner. In Genesis chapter 20, he gives power. Somebody holler power. Somebody holler power. See, God says, for those of you that want power, you got to speak power. And when I give you this power, you got to understand that some things that's been on you is getting ready to come up off of you. The things that you thought that you would not ever be able to walk into, you're now getting ready to be able to walk into that very thing. So now you got all the P's. Here it is. Now we get ready to go to Genesis 22. I used all that time to preach 9 minutes and I'm out of here. Take thy only son Isaac Who you love, the one you even prayed about. And now, can you just imagine it's a good day outside. And he going up and he see the wood, he see the knife, he see the rope, but he don't see no sacrifice. Think y'all missed it. How many times have you seen some rope, a knife, but you ain't seen no sacrifice? The reason why I got some men in here full of promise is because, hear me, we had to sacrifice every single day. I know y'all say the Sanctified, but there's a song that I play every once in a while in my car. It's on my iPod. It's by Ice Cube to say, today is a good day. I had to make $1 out of 15 cents. Y'all ain't helping me. If I got any real men up in here, we had to make $1 out of 15 cents. Is there any real men up in here? I know some of y'all 19 and under, you don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about men that had to learn how to struggle without. Sometimes real men in here, you had to take care of your family where you couldn't eat. So people can see me now, but they don't understand what I had to go through. And guess what? I had to make you the sacrifice. I said, man, God, why would you have me preach this to the men on the day about purpose? He said, because hear me, I'm learning that even as a man, hear me, I'm carrying all this stuff. If there's real men in here that's honest, if you carry too much stuff, sooner or later some stuff gonna fall. And that's why we as men, we got to know exactly what we're carrying while we're carrying what we're carrying. Let me help you real quick. If you're carrying other people's burdens and they don't know how to carry their own and they're grown, you have to know, you got to do something different with that. I know you love your little son, Ray and Shonda's little brother, but guess what? If Shonda's little brother want to keep acting up, you got to learn how to let Shonda's little brother fall. That's my baby. And that's why he keep doing what he doing. I got 2 good sons. God bless them. 22, and 19. And I say, punks jump up to get beat down. I don't care how tall you are. You're going to be eating Jell-O because you ain't got no teeth in your mouth messing with me. Don't let the height fool you. I'm a Navy SEAL. Y'all ain't saying nothing. I'm trained to take you out. And the problem is, watch this here. Have you ever noticed? There's an old saying here, and here's how I'm going to close. If I knew then what I know now, I would do things a whole lot different. You remember when you used to talk back to your mama? Now your kids talking back to you, and you wish you remember when you didn't talk back. Y'all ain't home. I got to go. I got to hear them go here. So I got the rope. You know why men we in here today? Because Dr. Terry, he started us off. He got us on the plane. He got us up. Dr. Wiley got us on cruise control. I'm about to land the plane. Here you go. The rope was for us to bind some stuff up. The knife was for us to gut some stuff out that we know that we don't really need. Y'all ain't ready. And as a man, your assignment is to make sure that you gut out whatever is not needed. You are the protector and the priest and the provider of your house. And if anything comes on the other side of that, it's your responsibility and it's your fault. Man of God said it best. He said that he gave him a woman, and hear me, then here come Adam. This woman you gave me. No, brother, he gave you the commandment. Your job is to walk in the authority and the dominion that you have. I wish I had a church up in here now. Why don't you look at a brother next to you and say, I got some dominion in my life. And I ain't going to let nothing tear up my territory that God has given me. Woo, God, I feel it. This is your season of supernatural miracles. Yes, God, I feel your help now. This is going to be your day for supernatural success. But hear me, you ain't going to walk in success if you always speaking negative of your own situation. Look at somebody next to you and say, that trial is getting ready to be over in your life. Old songwriter said, I've had some good days and I've had some bad days, but when I look around all of my good days, they outweigh my bad days, and I won't complain. Anybody in here that say, I know that I could cry about it, but I can't keep crying about the same thing over and over and over again. Sooner or later, I got to pull my pants up and be accountable for what I'm supposed to be. God, I got to go. So God, how can I move in a whole nother place? Because the thing that you're facing is like the movie called It. Yes, God. Here's where I'm closing at right here. The plane closing now. We ain't pouring no more pop now. We ain't got no more sandwiches now. I got to land the plane. Here it is real quick. If you ever seen the movie It was about a clown. Am I right? And notice here, it was nothing but a clown. AKA the devil. Y'all ain't saying nothing. Looking like Joker's little sister. Y'all ain't helping me real quick. The problem with a lot of people in our lives, they look like clowns. Y'all ain't saying nothing. Look at your brother next to you and tell them whatever you facing right now, it ain't going to be bigger than you. You bigger than it. And God say whatever you dealing with, whatever you struggling with, you're getting ready to come on the other side of the comma. Yes, God, here we go. Look at somebody next to you and say, you're getting ready to come out on top now. You got to understand that the devil was going to get you. He should have got you when you was weak. He should have got you when you was down. He should have got you when you were vulnerable. But now do I have any men up in this room that can say the devil shall not have my joy. The devil shall not have my family. The devil shall not have my lineage. He shall not have my legacy. And he says, how can I be what I'm supposed to be? Let me tell you, here's how we're going to close because I got 5 minutes left. If you learn how to speak it out of your mouth, the day you speak it is the day it's going to stop. I wish I had about 22 men up in here that could say, oh, it's getting ready to stop today. Oh, you didn't say that with no power. I want you to look at the brother next to you and say, oh, it's getting ready to stop today. Any man in here, can you cast down the spirit of manipulation? You're going to cast down the spirit of fear. You're going to cast down the spirit of poverty. You're going to destroy anything that got you bound. Tell a brother, oh, we're going to tear it down in here tonight. We're going to cast down the spirit of rejection. We're going to cast down the spirit of abandonment. We're going to kill the spirit of addiction. We're going to kill the spirit of drinking. You know why? Because if you call it, it'll stop the moment you speak it. A lot of times we don't have what we need because we don't believe it ourselves. And God said, if we tear it down, watch how we gonna move in another dimension. Here's why I'm closing it now. I gotta go for real now, y'all. Until you learn the authority that's in your mouth, you'll never understand your place in manhood. Manhood is not a birthday. Because we are always evolving. How can I tell you best? It's like a camera, man of God, is taking a picture of the camera. Come here for a minute. Come on, I know you're taking pictures. Come on. So you can take 3 of each section while I'm doing it. Here it is. This camera that he has right here, it has a lens. And it has a shutter on the lens. Y'all ain't saying nothing. And see, back in the old day when we had Kodaks, y'all ain't saying nothing. Polaroids, y'all ain't saying nothing. The ice cube flash, y'all ain't saying nothing. See, but watch this here. What happens is back in those days, we had what you call film that we put in the camera. So he had to put it in a dark room. Y'all ain't ready. And this is where men ought to give God praise, is because, watch this here. In the dark room is where the pictures are developed. See, when he takes the picture, it opens the lens up and closes it. Which means it takes the picture and puts it as a negative. Y'all ain't ready. And then when you put it in and you go through the old photography process, the picture now moves and it comes on the film. God says for every man in this room in here, the reason why you should praise him is because he developed you from a negative to become the picture that you're supposed to be. The negative was the first Adam, but the picture is Jesus Christ. Is there any man in this room in here that can stand at 8 feet and say, I thank God for my negative? Hey, God help me. I got to get out of here. But talk to your neighbor and tell your neighbor, I thank God that I am a picture and not a negative. I dare you put your arm around another brother and tell them you are God's picture. If you put your arm around another man, watch how God is going to touch your life to a whole nother dimension. Let me close. How can I be the picture? I wish I had a better sermon for you tomorrow. Y'all can come tomorrow, and I promise I'll preach a whole lot better than today. But God said, the reason why you are who you are is because I had to take you through a dark room. Don't worry about what your life looks like now, because back then it was a setup for you to be in this room right now. God said you are who you're supposed to be, because he's replacing the old you with a new you. And hear me, you got to thank God for your wasness. That's your past. And learn how to give God praise in your isness, which is your present. Because while you're in your isness, you shouting for your shall be, which is your future. I dare you look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor, I see you in the future. And things look so much better. I wish I could preach it here like I felt it. But I come to tell you, for every man in this room in here, you're going to go home and you're going to take dominion over your house. You're getting ready to show what you're supposed to do. Brother, you can't date her. And then when you marry her, all the dating went out the window. If you open the door then, you should open the door now. And I'm telling you right now, I don't care if your wife is in here, her arm needs to get real weak when there's a door close by. I teach it all the time, Doc. I do. I don't care what y'all think about me. I tell them real quick, when the doorknob get back, that is broke. Because if there's a man there, it's your responsibility. You bought flowers before. Well, you can't buy no flowers now. If you went on weekly dates then, why can't you go on some now? You got to be the man. Hear me. You got to be the man in all aspects. God has me in a whole nother place. And hear me. The thing is, we know how to be men, but hear me. Because of the thing that we suffered in our own age brackets. Hear me. From the time you were born to the time you were 7 years old sets the primark of everything that you're going to have happen in your life thereafter. So if you didn't learn no manners before 8 years old, you ain't got no manners now. I can see why. You calling your mama by her first name, that's because you called her that back then. That's why you don't know how to have no respect for women now. God is saying what we got to do as men, we got to learn how to lead by example. You know why? Because our kids see that. So if you sitting up there cussing your woman out, that's what your child going to do to his women. One of the things that my children can all tell you, they see me lead in prayer. They're going to see that I do what I'm supposed to do. You need something, I'm going to make sure you have it. Why? Because that's my responsibility. I don't want nobody doing nothing for my house. Because I'm the man of it. And if I got any real men up in here, it makes us feel good when we can do some stuff. Your chest can be stuck out. You see how I fixed that for you, baby? I got one in suede too. Because we want to make sure that we're leading by example. Put another brother's hand in your hand. I gotta move. I gotta move quickly, and then I'm gonna ask you to do something, and I'm done. I promise you. I asked Pastor if it was all right. He said okay. But hear me. I want you as a man to do me a favor. I want you to look at that brother, and I don't want you to tell me because see y'all in church, so you'll lie to me. But if you tell another brother, you might be open and honest with it. Look at that brother and tell that brother one issue that you're dealing with that you need him to help you pray for. Give you an example. If mine is my attitude, I would say, I need you to help me with my anger, because when they do something to defy my manhood, I got to say something back to retaliate because they came for me. Yeah, that was me. And I got an old saying, don't come for me unless I send for you. Because this ain't what you want. You cross that line right there, I promise you, punks jump up to get beat down. See, that's why we related. So if I got an issue, hear me, and here, don't act like you ain't got no issue. You got one. Even you young ones, you got issues. Hear me. Y'all go to school, and if you go to school, you got to deal with the peer pressure of what we didn't have to deal with. Go ahead. Just go ahead and look at that brother real quick. Just tell him one thing that you're dealing with. Just one thing. And tell him what you need them to help you pray for. Say, pray for me for this. Mean it for real, for real. Now, what you going to do, if you know that brother, I want you to take the next 7 days and pray for that thing for them. And don't call, yeah, Doc, did that prayer come through? Because I know I'm a prophet. I ain't asked you all that. Just be honest with yourself and say, this is what my issue is. Amen. So I can be better. Amen. Now do me a favor. Now that hand that you held, go grab another brother's hand. Because there's power in agreement with another brother. And I want you to do the same thing with them. Touch and agree with them. Hallelujah. I got to go, I promise you. When you're done it and you believe that that thing is going to come to pass, I dare you give God praise in this room right now. Be seated for a moment. Doors of the church have already been opened. Amen. Amen. But hear me, but you looking for God to give you promise, property, provision, pardon, power, prophecy. And you know that that's going to be yours. I dare you lift your hand like you know you about to walk in all those P's you wrote. The thing that I want you to understand is this. I can whoop you and I can shout you in the heavenlies. But today you got 3 important lessons about purpose. You heard 3 different distinct messages that all culminated to give you the same related message. If you didn't take notes, it ain't our fault. But we gave you principles to make you a better man, to help you lead by example. If you're not part of anybody's church tomorrow, I strongly suggest that you're here with us either in the morning or both services, because tomorrow is going to be so mind-blowing. It's going to change your entire life for what God's going to do. I'm telling you right now, and I'm going to give you just one point that I'm going to say. God says elevation has hit this church. Amen. Let me say it again. Elevation has hit this church. Amen. And hear me, it ain't because somebody from Chicago had to come do it. It's because God has already said the oil flows on this house. Amen. When I began to hear about the testimony, matter of fact, I was at lunch yesterday and the man of God didn't even know it was confirmation. He said, you speaking confirmation for everything I knew. While y'all was over there talking, having a good little time, we over there talking, and God gave confirmation. Then he turned right back around, and then today I'm hearing about all the signs, wonders, and miracles that has happened in this house. The man of God singing, that's a miracle. Now, if you think God can give him a miracle, what you think God getting ready to do in your life? Because there's about to be $1 million transfer that's going to happen. When I drove up on this building, I knew what the value of the building was. And then I said, you know what, this is what God is going to do. Hear me. If God can let you walk into something where you didn't have to pay nothing but a barrel of the bucket, what you think going to happen when you walk under the true opposite of the apostolic of what God is calling for your life? You don't even, don't worry about it. I'll talk to you tomorrow. But I need y'all to help me do something. I want y'all to help me do something. Because as men, I want to set a tone for your life. And you can do it, and hear me, and I'm going to talk to you like a man. You can do it or don't do it, and it ain't going to bother me one way or the other. Because God says, hear me, if we want to be protectors and priests and we want to lead, we got to always know how to lead by example. Amen. Don't complain about women when you don't do your place as a man. And that's why women, see, I'm an advocate for women, and people get mad at me in the kingdom about it because, hear me, every time God needed a man, he couldn't find one. Oh, it's in the Bible. All you got to do is read Jeremiah 5:1. Run you to and fro through the streets of Jerusalem that I can find such a man, and he couldn't find one. So when we get to Mark chapter 16, in the old church, that they talked about women shouldn't be in ministry, but there was 3 women that went to go see about Jesus. And the angel said, go see my disciples and Peter that Christ had risen. If it wasn't for women, we wouldn't have a ministry. But then we'll use scripture to justify our mess by saying women's supposed to be quiet and learn at home. It had nothing to do with them muzzling their mouth. It was too much going on in the sanctuary. So he said, hear me, you just ask your questions at the crib. I'll let you know what's going on because we know that you're going to be the forerunner to do what needs to be done. So I'm all for women doing what they're supposed to do, but I got a problem with a man that always got something to say about a woman. Your woman ain't supposed to be just barefooted and pregnant and just do what you want her to do. You got to learn that she got a voice and she has an opinion. And she should be able to tell you something. Y'all ain't helping me.